Chapter 23. Hang on, Nanny. At last came Nanny's turn, and something had shifted. Dewey was angry. Burdock saw it as soon as Dewey re-emerged from the barn. His face had taken on an uncomfortable shade of red, and his eyes were fixed. Dewey vaulted into the pasture after Nanny, snatched up a large stick from the ground, and swung it over his head. "Nanny!" he bellowed. "You better get back here!" Burdock caught the frightened flash of Nanny's eyes, and they both knew if Dewey reached Nanny, he was going to wallop her. What could he do? Burdock was nothing against Dewey and his stick, but Nanny needed help, and he was all there was. He didn't hesitate. He shot forward, exerting his natural feline grace, and sped to the fullest extent, and came out right behind Dewey. Dewey saw him, turned and swung, narrowly missing Burdock as he rolled away. But now Dewey chased after Nanny again, and the cat realized they could both be squashed by Dewey's anger. This wasn't going to work, but wait. "Hang on, Nanny," Burdock whispered to himself. He sprung around, tore back down the hill, raced to the barn doors, and swerved around the horses and wagons now tucked into the back aisle. "What's happening?" called out Figgy, but Burdock didn't have time to explain. He scrambled around the corner and up the back stairs to the loft. "Noctula," he called. "Noctula, where are you?" One moment later, in the pasture, just as it was clear that Dewey had the advantage and would finally catch Nanny, a huge white bird plunged silently between them, talons extended, and swooped down on Dewey. With the incapable timing of an owl it was known for, it seized the stick and swung it around, nearly striking Dewey. Dewey ducked and fell. "No wormy way!" he cried. Nanny saw her chance. She skirted around Dewey and pleated back to the barn. "I don't believe this place," sputtered Dewey, standing up and watching as the owl soared up away over the trees. Finally, he stooped back to the barn and locked Nanny in. He banged the barn doors closed. He threw the barn into the slots and the bar down into the slots and stormed away. A moment later, Noctula guided through the upper window, and Burdock crept forward into the middle aisle. Once Dewey was out of earshot, the animals looked at one another and softly cheered. "Hooray!" cried Fluff. "We did it!" exclaimed Tick. "Tired as a knot in his tail," chuckled Tug. Nanny turned to the cat. "Thank you," she whispered. Burdock closed his eye and sighed. Nanny was okay. As harrowing as it had been, it had worked. Tug and Pole were still harnessed to the wagon at the back of the aisle. The hole was dug, and everything was ready to go. Tonight they would escape before Dewey set the barn on fire.